I'd made the perfect cardigan for an American football player. Hiya, my name's Louisa and welcome back to the third episode of my knitting podcast. It's been a really long time since I filmed one of these videos, so we have got a lot to catch up on, so let's get stuck straight in. Let's start with what I'm wearing, which is the Aloe top by Aloe. This has to be up there with probably one of my favourite things that I've ever made. It's so gorgeous and I've worn it a ton already. Back when I first started knitting over a year ago, this was up there with one of the items that I desperately wanted to make. But yes, I think that this project would be really ideal for a more experienced beginner, somebody who is looking to level up their skills and just try something a little bit more challenging. And again, if you're an experienced knitter, then don't let this put you off. It's one of these kind of like basic items that everybody needs in their wardrobe. And quite surprisingly, even though this was just your bog standard stockinette pattern, I actually found it quite engaging. So you start by working the back and then picking up stitches for the front. You work in the round and then you kind of cast off the edge, but you leave one stitch remaining. And then you re-pick up double the amount of stitches that you originally had. And that creates this beautiful little ruffle effect. And also with your sleeves, it's not just like when you're working flat, it's not just knit, purl, knit, purl. Each row you kind of slip one stitch and that creates this really neat edge, and I found that so addictive. I was getting through so many rows of knitting. This took me maybe 2 weeks to complete, which for me is really good going, and I'm sure if you're more experienced you could whiz through this in a lot less time than me and have a lovely little kind of basic summer t-shirt in your wardrobe in no time. Who doesn't want that? So my second finished item is the cinema sweater by Kutovakika. And if you've watched my second knitting podcast, you will know I had just cast this on at that stage and I just kind of finished the yoke 2 months later, and I've got a finished jumper just in time for summer. I am devastated that I won't get to wear this for another few months. It was slightly chilly last weekend, and so I wore this for a Sunday roast, and it's a sheer miracle that I didn't spill any gravy down this, and thank God I didn't, because that would be devastating. But yes, this is just your classic raglan seam jumper with German short rows in it. And don't let German short rows scare you. They definitely scared me before trying this project, but the designer has really well written instructions, and there is a video tutorial to accompany this project, and it breaks down the steps so well, and everything is time stamped, so if you're ever confused mid kind of project, you can always refer to the timestamps, and I found that so useful. It's such a good resource. The yarn that I've used is Yarnsmith's Merino DK and their Kid Silk Mohair, and I was kindly sent this by the brand to try, and I love it. I would buy this again with my own money. It's just beautiful, it's soft, it's got such a lovely halo to it as well. And another thing that I really love about Yarnsmiths is their colour selection. I hate having a really beautiful yarn but having a really poor colour selection. That just limits me creatively so much. So having so many options is really important to me, and I would definitely use Yarnsmiths again for a really special kind of project. This is so soft and snuggly, and I love the colour as well. This is in the colour Dark Sage, and it's really unusual. I haven't found anything that I can really kind of compare it to. Although my bathroom is weirdly the same colour. So if I go and stand in my bathroom, I basically blend in. But I don't see that as an issue. You know, I like what I like. This is up there with one of my most favourite projects that I have made so far this year. So let's move on to one of my less successful projects of the year, shall we? And if you follow me on Instagram, you will know what I am talking about. This is my second attempt at the Novice cardigan, and if you saw in my previous video, you will know that I loved this pattern. It is by PetiteKit. I don't know why I struggle to remember, like who can't remember who PetiteKit is? Anyway, this is a PetiteKit pattern, and yeah, I just decided that I wanted to make it again. I loved the pattern so much, I knew that I just needed another one. I picked a similar weight yarn. This is the Hue and Me by Lion brand in the colour Cement, and really the name says it all. This not only looks like cement, it feels like cement. It is dry. I hate this yarn. I absolutely hate it. Not only did it hurt my wrists, it was dry in my hands, which is a telltale sign that I'm not really going to want to wear this on my body. I was told that superwash yarn is really practical, and it definitely is. This is yeah, it's sturdy, that's for sure. Anyway, I thought that blocking this would fix a lot of problems, and it really didn't. I think midway I discovered that I was kind of short on yarn, and I could do with maybe another like ball of yarn would fix this. But I had such an unpleasant experience. I was like, I am not buying another ball of yarn to finish this project. I'm just gonna have to make the best of it. And so I was hoping that blocking would fix a lot of the issues that I was experiencing, and I blocked it. And I discovered that I'd made the perfect cardigan for an American football player. I was devastated. I was so annoyed. It took me maybe a couple of weeks to recover from this project. And the worst thing is, I don't know what to do with it now. I'm like, I don't want to give it away to anyone because this is just unwearable. It's just got like a horrible bump on like the back. It just doesn't fit. It just point blank does not fit. So I really don't think this is like good enough for someone to wear. So I'm gonna have to frog it, but I don't want to use it again. It hurts so much. It's not worth the wrist pain. So I think I might just frog it and then donate the yarn to charity, because for practicing this could be great, but yeah, I just really don't want it to go to waste. But also I really don't want anyone to go through the same pain that I did. It's so sad. But yeah, this is gonna live in my wardrobe for the next few weeks until I can decide what to do with it, I guess. So next we are going to move on to works in progress, and this is finished, but it needs blocking and it needs a pom-pom adding. So a couple of weeks ago I attended my first colour work workshop at the Four Otters studio up in London. If you're a local, then I really highly recommend it. They've got so many classes on, perfect for beginners. And if there's ever something that you don't think that they're covering, just drop them a message and say, oh, I would like to learn XYZ, and they're more than happy to accommodate. We practice colour work on little tiny swatches, but I knew that a 2-hour session just really wasn't going to be enough for me. So I had to go away and do my homework. And I found in one of my copy of the quarterly Toft magazine, I found this really good beanie hat. There's so many different patterns in here. There's like a mixture of crochet and knitting, and they're all gorgeous. But anyway, this one is the Canopy beanie, and it's got like a little chart you can follow, and it was just perfect for me to just learn on a relatively small project. I really enjoyed this. This was so addictive. I had to frog this a couple of times just because my tension was really off where I was catching floats, but it was quite good for me to learn how to frog the colour work, rather now than on a larger project later down the line. Yeah, the tension is still a little bit weird, but it's a lot better than where I first started, and I think it's wearable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to block it using a balloon. I've heard that that's the best option. Try not to block these flat. Basically you blow up a balloon and you kind of put it over the top, and that should fix a lot of the stitch issues where there's unevenness. It won't be 100%, but yeah. Well, I can't wait to see what this looks like. And I've picked up this little pom-pom to stick on the top as well, and that should look really cute. It's the perfect hat for a pom-pom actually, because I've made a few hats in the past, and I think they have been kind of too close to the scalp, so the pom-pom sits like directly on top of your head, and in my opinion that looks ridiculous. So you need like a little bit of excess material at the back so that it kind of just drapes like so, if you see what I mean. But yeah, I'm very excited for this, and I can't wait to do more colour work in the future because this was so much fun. So the next project that I have that is a work in progress is the Sailor Swift top. Again, by Kutovakika. I absolutely love this designer, and I think a lot of other people do. Like her personality, she is just adorable, and I think her patterns are really well written. This is fairly similar to the Aloe top in the sense that it's a top-down construction. You work the back, then you pick up stitches for the front, and then you work in the round. But what kind of slightly differs with this is that it has negative ease. You have the added interest with the stripes, and also you can't see it in the sample, but there is some ribbing at the bottom. I haven't decided how long I want this top to be actually. I don't know whether I want it to be cropped or a little bit longer so I can tuck it into things. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it, but yeah, we will see. And then what you do is with the neckline and the arms, there is a tubular bind off, which I have never made before. So I'm really intrigued to see how that looks. It just adds a nice little detail. And I think on this like tank top, I think that's going to look so sophisticated. I'm literally just working in the round at the moment, and I'm really enjoying it. The yarn that I'm using is Drop Spell, and I think this makes a really lovely fabric. The drape is so nice, but yeah, it is a little bit splitty, and I had intended to use this yarn again to make the love letter top by Kutovakika, but I am slightly put off of using this yarn for that project, because when I've had to increase stitches, I found that's when it was splitting a lot, and with lace work and increases, yeah, I just don't think that's going to bode well. So yeah, if I want to do that project, I will probably find an alternative yarn, which means that that Drop Spell is just going to sat in my stash for a little bit longer, which is a little bit annoying. But yeah, not sure it's the most appropriate yarn for lace work, but really lovely drape and perfect for summer. So the last project that I have on my needles is the Sadie top by WoozyByCeline, and you will have seen on my Instagram I started this maybe a month or so ago, but unfortunately I brought this project with me on the train when I went to that colour work workshop, and I ended up dropping a stitch, and where it was in my handbag it just got really crumpled and I couldn't work out how to fix it. And so I was like, do you know what, I'm just gonna have to frog it and just come back to this with a fresh pair of eyes. And so I literally cast this on last night, and I've just done the German short rows for it, and it's making a really beautiful kind of fabric. And yeah, it's got like saddle shoulders, and it's going to be so beautiful over the top of a nice little vest top in summer. I'm very excited for this one. But yeah, when you make a mistake, you know it. I'm finding this quite a challenge. This is the first time that I've used one of WoozyByCeline's patterns, and I find they definitely kind of cater towards a more experienced knitter for sure. There's a lot of abbreviations, yeah, even down to the nature of this yarn. This is quite challenging for me. Lace is very thin, obviously, and yeah, this is kind of like working with cotton wool. I have to knit English style knitting. I can't knit continental with this, and I have to be really slow and methodical. And yeah, I've learnt my lesson. I am not going to take this project on the train with me. This is for quiet afternoons only, which means it might take me quite a long time to complete, but I think it'll be worth it in the long run. I'm not 100% sure how much I will get the wear out of this, because I think the upkeep of this project might be quite hard. But I just really wanted to try it working with just one strand of lace weight and see what that was like. And it's such a beautiful like jumper t-shirt, I don't know what you would call it. Yeah, it's so beautiful. I've just felt like it would be really pretty to have in my wardrobe. I don't really have anything like that, so yeah, I'm quite intrigued to see how this one turns out. So that is all my finished objects and works in progress. What's coming next? Well, if you follow me over on Instagram at Loopy Pasta, you will know that I'm doing a little mini series at the moment where I plan on making the Cute Sweater by Dalgaard. And I've wanted to make this sweater for such a long time, but I just didn't have the experience with colour work to really give it a go. And yeah, I plan on purchasing the pattern first, reading through exactly what I want to do with regards to the different stripes. Each stripe has a different kind of chart to it, and you can customize it to be whatever you want. So I think she has an option for mushrooms, bunny rabbits, tulips, moons. It is so, as the name suggests, cute. It's on the danger of maybe being a little bit childish, but you know, who cares? It's fun, and I know that I'm gonna really enjoy making this. I think she even has a chart where you can kind of customize it yourself. So yeah, I would quite like to make my own little design and add that to the jumper, just for like an added bit of personalization. And I hope to pick my own yarn. I don't kind of want to go with the recommended yarn. I'd like to use something that's more within my budget. So if you have any recommendations for colour work, kind of like yarn that's really good for colour work, then I am open to ideas. I think it's Aran weight yarn the pattern calls for. So yeah, any suggestions, send them my way. I would love to hear them. Yeah, that brings us to the end of the podcast. Yeah, if you're not subscribed, then please go and subscribe. I would quite like to do a project vlog for the Cute Sweater. So if that interests you, then definitely stay subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on that. I really want to do a project vlog, and yeah, that should be pretty exciting to look forward to in the near future. So yeah, hope you have a lovely day, and I'm off to go and make myself a cup of tea. Take care, pals. Bye.